Okay, today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're doing an MCU tier list. I know you guys are probably excited for this. I'm not. For a bunch of movies I just don't really care about, but you know, whatever I gotta do to entertain y'all. So we got S tier, we got A, B, C, D, F, you know. And then I'm gonna add another one. Just added another row because there's a couple shows. This includes the shows which I just haven't seen, to be honest. Alright, Iron Man. Let's go. I'm gonna go B, okay? Let me explain. So Iron Man is a good film, right? It's a good MCU film. It is probably one of the better MCU films, to be honest with you. But as a film, it goes into generic, formulaic archetypes. And it's weird for a film which is basically just starting out this universe, you know? I'm just like, yeah, it's good. Hulk, I don't fucking like this movie, okay? I'm gonna go D. It's so generic and so grey. You know, everything just feels so dark and glum and it's so dull, dude. It's so dull. Visually, it looks like a wet piece of toilet paper. I just don't care for it. I just don't care for it. Iron Man 2. I'm gonna go D as well. It was like it was written by a fucking frat boy. You know, it was like, feels like something Critical Drinker would write. Again, visually, I think the visual effects are pretty great. I think that there's something interesting to say about them. But there's so many different decisions going on in this film, and none of them kind of come together really well. Also, Elon Musk is in it. Thor, I fuck with Thor. You know, the Dutch angles are always funny. They will always be funny. But I think the best part about it is the Norse mythology and the production design going on. I don't give a shit about the Earth stuff. Like, the Earth stuff I can take or leave. But I think Chris Hemsworth is good in the role. He is boring in this film, but purposefully so, you know. Because he's kind of seen as just a stoic dude with not much of a sense of humor, which is fine, you know. I fuck with it. And then you got Loki on the other hand, who's so goofy. I love Loki. Okay, solid film, you know. It's solid. First Avenger, I'm also gonna go C on that one. I think it's the first film in the MCU at the time which kind of used the grayscale pretty correctly, because at the end of the day it is a film set in World War One, right? Or World War Two, whatever war it is. A lot more Nazis than I was expecting. Let's just put it that way. But I can't help but feel that there's nothing structurally interesting about it. It kind of just feels like it ebbs and flows. There's so many different issues with it that I just don't want to discuss, to be honest, because if I'm honest, I don't remember them. The Avengers. Okay, this one's kind of baller. Okay, I'm gonna go B. And why B? Because it looks like a TV movie, guys. Come on. It looks like an episode of The Office. Cinematography aside, I think that the visual effects are probably the best in the MCU, if I'm honest. And when it came out, it felt like a fucking event. You know, when have we got a Marvel film that feels like an event, like recently? Iron Man 3. I'm gonna go B on this one as well. I enjoy it. It's stupid, don't get me wrong. There are things I don't like about it. I don't like the whole Trevor Slattery thing, which everybody else just doesn't like either. I think it undercuts some of the more emotional moments for comedy. This is like the first pivot, I think, where it started to shine through a little bit more in the MCU. But there is a darkness, like, lingering underneath, which I do admire. Thor: Dark World is like, it's a fucking F tier, man. Like, I think a lot of people forget it exists, and rightfully so, to be honest with you. I'm not a fan. I hate it. I think it's really boring. What happened in this one? What happened? Yeah, it's just not a good film, to be honest. Winter Soldier, okay, that is like fucking S tier Marvel film. That is probably the best Marvel film. All of the complaints so far about like the grayscale kind of applies to this, but I think that tonally speaking, it uses it really well, because it is going for that dark, gritty, like spy espionage thriller, which you wouldn't expect from an MCU film, but I fuck with it heavy. Like, the action sequences are just so well choreographed and so well shot. Shaky cam used really well. I kind of miss Marvel when they were just grounded like this, but Guardians of the Galaxy, also S tier, man. So expansive, it's so pretty. You got great characters. There's some really good humor in there. Even though it's James Gunn, and I think James Gunn has kind of slipped off the wagon a little bit, I do think that Guardians of the Galaxy is definitely the blueprint for all of this stuff. It set a precedent for what the MCU can do, and I think that Feige has gone way too much into that direction, which you'll find out in a bit. Age of Ultron, D. He chokes a robot in one scene. There's so much stupid shit in here that, oh my god. Hulk getting in a relationship with Black Widow. What? So many stupid bullshit decisions that kind of wound me up, if I'm honest. Ant-Man, I enjoy Ant-Man. It's like a B tier. Not the best, but it's not the worst either. It's really small. And I know there's like the sense of irony with the widescreen aspect ratio 185:1. The fact that it's such a small character with such a large screen isn't lost on me. But that kind of fits into the whole comedy aspect of it all, is that it's kind of doing the most with very little, if that makes sense. I enjoy it. I fuck with it. Civil War, I'm gonna go A tier. It would be S tier if they cut the humor back in the action sequences, specifically the airport scene, which is one of the most badass sequences in the MCU of that time. But every single punch has to explain it. It's like, oh sorry, oh. I don't care, man. Just fight. Just fight. But it's a baller film. It's good. Doctor Strange, I'm gonna go C. I think it's one of the better films in the MCU, visually speaking. But I just don't care for it as much as I do, say, like Iron Man 3 or even Civil War and stuff like that. And there's no doubt in my mind that he's important to the MCU. Like, obviously, going forward, this was like a stepping stone for like trans-dimensional shit. But I think the film around him is just so dull and not that interesting, to be honest. Guardians 2, that is B. I love the color palette on this one. I think that it's bright, it's vivid, it's pretty wonderful. It does try and top itself so much. It tries to top the first one, then it doesn't quite get to that point. But giving Yondu more to do, best thing they could have ever done. Spider-Man Homecoming, that's an A tier for me. Because at the end of the day, Spider-Man is like friendly neighborhood. He's not like meant to be like this trans-dimensional hero like Doctor Strange or whatever, which the MCU has definitely tried to make him since this film. But I think it's like the first one where we actually get a good sense of like, oh yeah, he is just a friendly neighborhood guy. Thor Ragnarok, I'm gonna go C with this one. I used to love it back in the day, but it's just too much now, man. It's just too much. Like, some of it's funny. Korg, he will always make me laugh, but watching this now just kind of feels depressing, dude. Like, knowing what they've done to Thor after this film, man. Kate Blanchett's good. I like Sakaar, the planet they're on, but it's Taika dialogue. And Taika dialogue just isn't funny anymore. Black Panther, that is B. Production design is awesome. The costume designing by Ruthie Carter, incredible. But the visuals. Rumor has it they had like 3 weeks to complete the ending. And boy, you can tell. Felt like I was playing Sega Genesis or some shit. It was bad. But regardless of that, I love Killmonger. I think he's like one of the better MCU villains. I also love Chadwick. I miss him. That is one death I will never get over. Infinity War, that is A tier. That is A. Definitely one of the better MCU films for obvious reasons. But if it's not obvious to you, it's because of the amount it juggles and how it does it correctly. And it does feel like a checkpoint film, let's be honest. It feels like that. But I really appreciate films that kind of take this approach of taking so many characters, putting them in a 2-hour or 2.5 hour film, but giving them enough to do that it feels like the time is warranted. Great stuff. It's fucking great stuff. Ant-Man and the Wasp. I don't remember a single fucking thing. What was this one? I remember Walton Goggins was in it. For some reason. But it's like, what are we doing with this? Like, what? Captain Marvel is also a fucking D. I own it on 4K because I paid like £5 for it brand new on Amazon. But again, who gives a shit, man? Like, yeah, it's Social Justice Warrior 2.0. Captain Marvel is a plank of wood character. Nick Fury doesn't even do much. The CGI, man, it's rough. It's not a good film. I'm surprised it made as much money as it did. Endgame, A. Instant A. I don't like what they did with Thor, to be honest. I like his look towards the end, the Viking look, but what they did to him was just not fun at all. But you can't deny how like big of an event this was. This was like when Force Awakens came out, you know? Everyone and their fucking nan went to see this, and it was like, it was huge. It's a shame that the MCU just didn't know what to do after this, which includes Far From Home, which is a B. I enjoy it. I love Mysterio. I think Jake Gyllenhaal carries this film, and without him, it would be absolutely nothing. But again, it's fun. I think it's kind of charming. WandaVision. Now we're getting into the shows. I'm gonna go B with this one. I like the visuals of it, but as the show gradually goes on, I just find myself slipping away from it. I lose interest pretty quickly, but I do appreciate the angle that it goes with Wanda, where it tries to create a sense of villainy in her, which culminates in a pretty rough finale, if I'm honest with you. Solid stuff. It just takes far too long to get where he wants to go. Falcon and Winter Soldier, I don't give a shit about this one. This was such a nothing burger of a show. Does anyone even remember watching it? I love Bucky. I love Falcon. Fuck it. I love Zemo. But like, what was this? What was it? Loki. It's a B. It's a B. Season 1 for me was pretty damn good. I think that it does what it needs to do pretty well. But again, it takes far too long to get where it wants to go. And by the time you get to where you want to go, there's no real feeling at the end of it. No real threat or any sense of pride that came with the show. And season 2 is just such a nothing thing. I don't even remember anything about it, to be honest. Black Widow, I'm going to go with B as well, to be honest. People will probably put it in D or F. I think it's a B. I would change a lot of things. I would change Taskmaster entirely. There is a point towards the back half which is like 20 minutes of nothing going on. But it's peak COVID, okay? It came out during COVID, so you have to cut some slack. What If? I haven't watched What If I'm honest with you. Shang-Chi, it's a C. Reaction sequences are fire. Everything else I can take it or leave it. Tony Leung just wants love, man. He just wants love. But Simu Liu, he's a character, man. He's a character. Eternals, I'm sorry. I love Chloe Zhao. She's finally making real movies again. But Eternals is just so fucking dumb. It's like 2 hours and 40 minutes of nothing. You know, it's nothing. Barry's good. There's not much else to say about it, to be honest. Hawkeye, hear me out. Hawkeye isn't great. Okay? To me, it just felt like filler. But at the end of the day, I love the fact that Jeremy Renner's getting work. Eddie Steinfeld rubs off. Eddie Steinfeld's chemistry is good with him. But, like, again, I don't really remember it. I think the problem with these Marvel shows is that they're just so forgettable. No Way Home. Look, I know people love this film. I know people are going to say in the comments that this is like the best Marvel film ever. But I'm tired of these films like playing on nostalgia bait, you know, to get people in seats. It's made far too much money, man. Like, what? It's not very nice to look at. Everything is just CGI, even the streets. And yeah, it's cool that the 3 Spider-Men show up, but after that, what are you left with? What are you left with exactly? There's no moral of the story here. There's nothing. Moon Knight. I'm gonna go B. I love Oscar Isaac and Ethan Hawke. Them being together is great. The back half of the show is a lot less interesting than the first half, I would say. But again, it's one of those shows which I just don't really remember much from, except for that it was pretty visually dark and pretty gloomy, and I'm looking forward to seeing where they take him. I hope they bring him back. Please, for the love of Christ, bring him back. But The Strange Multiverse of Madness is a B. I fuck with it a lot more than other people do. Okay, I know a lot of people just don't like it, and that's fine, but at the end of the day, it's fun. It's stupid, it's goofy, and knows it's stupid. It's got that Raimi energy to it. Feels like Spider-Man 3, in some ways better than others, in some ways worse. The whole, like, fucking cameo bait of it, again, that just frustrates me, man. 'Cause that's not good filmmaking, is it? Like, a cameo bait isn't good filmmaking whatsoever. It's not even fun at this point. All Love and Thunder I fucking hate. Taika, to me, is one of those directors who just thrives off of like wet farts. You know? He loves the smell of his own shit, you know? And Thor Love and Thunder is definitely one of those films that smells like its own shit. It feels like he would eat his own poop. Not good. Not good at all. And Christian Bale's fine, but he's barely in it. Ms. Marvel, D as well, I think. Didn't they reveal that she was like a mutant or something? Again, that shows you how much cared about it. She-Hulk is like one of the worst things I've ever seen in my entire life. Let's not go there. 8 hours of my life I wasted. Werewolf by Night. That is like A, I'd say. Michael Giacchino directed it. You can tell that he actually took a lot of inspiration from several different things. And I hope they do more special presentations like this, because doing something visually interesting, like doing the whole film grain and shooting it, even though they shot it on digital and they put like composited over this film grain, gives it that old vintage look that I think is put on really well. So I hope they do more like this. Please don't fuck them up. Wakanda Forever. I like Wakanda Forever. What can I say? Going to B. I miss Chadwick. It's definitely felt in the film that he's lost. I love the score on it. I think it's visually interesting, just like the first one. Namor is probably my favorite MCU villain post Endgame. Holiday Special. Where do I put this? C? When am I ever gonna watch this again? Let's be honest. Ant-Man Quantumania, fuck off. The film just doesn't matter anymore. Just doesn't. Guardians 3, I think is a C. And let me explain for a quick second why. The rocket stuff is incredible. I'm glad the film went into that direction and into how heartbreaking Rocket's backstory really is. But it does so much stupid shit with Drax. It just cuts to Drax and the others doing stuff which I just didn't care for at all. The ending's nice, so that's good. Secret Invasion I didn't watch, for obvious reasons. The Marvels, I did a review for it if you want to go see it, but yeah, it's stinky. Echo, also stinky. It tries to do this really dark, like, Daredevil thing. But here's the thing with Daredevil. He's a lot more interesting than Echo is. And even the choreography here is so bad. It's so sloppy, dude. X-Men 97 I haven't seen, to be honest. And I've heard it's good, though. Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm sorry. Putting it in C tier isn't, like, the worst thing in the world. But it's just one of those films that makes me miserable. Like, it makes me actually scared for the future of filmmaking if this is what makes money. I could follow along. I also didn't see the Spider-Man thing. Brave New World is D. Interesting ideas, botched delivery. It's like an hour and a half and it feels long for some reason. It feels so long. And baiting us with Red Hulk and Harrison Ford just didn't work. It just didn't work at all. Oh look, another TV show I haven't watched. Daredevil. And then you got Thunderbolts, which I'm gonna be real. I'm putting it in 8. I think what's so good about Thunderbolts is that it takes its time developing these people, because even though we kind of have a base understanding of who these people are, it does go into the direction of like leading into depression and leading into the whole ideology that working as a hero is not all what it's meant to be. And a lot of these films and TV shows are like, oh yeah, look, I'm a hero, look how cool I am. But Thunderbolts dissects the idea that they are definitely struggling with it. Ironheart just fucking stinks, let's be real. One of those shows that just goes nowhere and it's like a waste of time. Fantastic Four. I'm gonna put it in B. I enjoy it. I like the 60s vibe, and I like the feel of it all. I think it goes in interesting directions. Looking forward to seeing where they go next. And you know what? That's the entire list, and it's looking quite rough, to be honest. But thank you guys for checking out this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and tell me down below what your ranking is, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.